Good afternoon. It's time for yet another NFL Bucky's Mill Day. This is your host, Mike C. Of course, the star of the show, as always, it's Bucky. Say hi, Bucky. Bucky says hi. Today is the day. It's finally draft week. It's Monday mock draft. I'm going to do my final 31 team mock draft, full first round. No trades. This is what I think will happen, but it's tough with the no trades in there. But this is what I think will happen without trades. How's that? We'll put it that way. Lions have 2 picks, of course. And I'm starting to get that funny feeling in my stomach. It's like the nerves and the excitement. It's like, Christmas Eve. It's all that good stuff. And I'm nervous and excited to happen, for the draft to happen. And I got my shrimp ready. It's in the freezer. Got a little different. I didn't get the big jumbo ones. It was a cilantro and lime seasoned. And there was more of them. There's just not as many. So I'll probably have 2 at the start. But I always have my shrimp. Got to have that. That's tradition. And so we're ready. And I'm watching a ton of mocks, ton of shows on TV and YouTube. And there's lots of scenarios. On that topic, I'm going to do a special tomorrow of the scenarios the Lions will probably happen to the 3 or 4 gentlemen that'll be picked, and what I think is most likely, and try to narrow down the 3 or 4 guys that the Lions will pick. It's tough because of the trades. There's tons of rumors, a lot of smoke, but it's going to be fun, and so looking for that tomorrow. Last week we had 26 views. That's great. Thank you. No remarks. That's typical, but that's okay. So if you want to leave a comment, that's fine. Grade my mock. That's fine. I've got the sign in front of Bucky. Bucky's barely visible up on top. And my latest Lions hat, which you've seen before, but I thought it was appropriate to put it out there. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time because you've probably heard all the talk and the names and the reasons why. Plus, there's 31 picks. I don't want to take an hour and a half, which is another reason I didn't do any trades. But I'm excited, and it's almost here, and it's like Christmas Eve, like I said. And so let's get started. Now, I did this on PFF. You can only do two rounds. You can't do any trades anyway, so that was appropriate. So I'm going to put this over here so I can see better. So, with the first pick of the NFL draft, the Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback, Bama. It's a consensus. It may not happen, but I think that will happen. Again, his only concern is size. If he was 6'2", there'd be no doubt in my mind. But he's probably the best overall quarterback. Decision making, doesn't have a cannon for an arm, but he can make most throws. I mean, he don't make too many 50-yard throws in a game anyway. But I think it's an excellent choice. The Panthers moved up, so they probably had him in mind. They still could pick C.J. Stroud. I got, no problem with that either. This next pick is where the draft's going to start. The Houston Texans, they could trade out of it. They could select a quarterback. They could select an edge. They could, select Will Anderson, which is very possible. Is it smoke? Hard to tell. But that being said, the second overall pick, I have the Houston Texans selecting C.J. Stroud, quarterback of the Ohio State. He's a great overall talent. He's got size. He's running ability. He can throw the ball very well. I wouldn't say a cannon for an arm. He doesn't have that. But very good prospect. Now, will they take a quarterback? Will they take somebody else? Will they trade? That's what makes the draft fun, guys. And best drama on TV. And I'll be watching ESPN. I'll might go back and forth a little bit, but Mel's going to be in studio this year. I'm assuming that. And but the NFL Network has a great cast too. I don't know who else is going to be at the ESPN. I might have Chat Sports on my phone to get reaction. I'll have somebody on for sure. And so I got my shrimp. Like I said, I got pizza ready, and a gallon jug of iced tea, decaf this time. So I'm ready. I'm just waiting for the the clock to go faster. All right. That being said, third round pick, the Cardinals select. This pained me. Again, no trades. Will Anderson, edge from Bama, my favorite player, the player I want the Lions to pick the most. We'll get into that tomorrow. But they don't need a quarterback, obviously. I think they're prime candidates for trading out. And if that's the case, the Lions should pounce on that. But we'll go into that more tomorrow. The fourth overall pick, the Colts select. I went with Anthony Richardson, quarterback from Florida. Chomp, chomp. The Colts, damn it. The Colts are a tough pick because they kind of want to win now, but I don't think they have the roster for that. And so I think they'll sit him for a while. And he might be starting the first year, to be honest with you. I'd rather have him go C.J. Stroud or Will Levis because he would be able to start right away. The Colts aren't quite there yet. So I think, sit him behind whoever the Colts quarterback is. I can't remember. And then unleash them either sometime in the middle of the year or next year, and then they're off to the races. All right. Try not to knock the phone over again. With the fifth pick of the draft, the Philadelphia Eagles. No, I'm sorry. I messed up. Seahawks. That's right. I'm sorry. This also paid me, but I went. I had to go with who I thought they'd pick. I picked Jalen Carter, another player would not mind the Lions to pick, and but they have a history of picking troubled guys. They have a good coach and good team in place, and I think they can handle and mentor I want him to succeed. I really do, and I think the Seahawks would probably pick. They could pick Tyree Wilson. We'll see. That being said, with the sixth overall pick, your mind Detroit Lions select Tyree Wilson, edge from Texas Tech. Freakishly long arms, 35 and a half, 36 inches six arms, and he can stop the run. I think he's a great overall prospect for the Lions. Good pass rusher, stop the run, good size, and that would be a great pick for that. I'd be very happy. I don't have pictures on my phone of him, but I do have another site, and I put him on my board, my poster for the draft. That's not the only reason, but I'd be very excited with if he's the only one left. If not, trade down, which is something I'll get into tomorrow. I'm pretty much telling you everything I'm going to do tomorrow. But that being said, with the seventh overall pick, the Raiders select Peter Sikorsky, tackle from Northwestern. They need offensive line help. I could have went with Paris Johnson, but he seems like a Raider. You can move him either tackle, but mostly a guard. They need offensive line help, and I think that's a good pick for the Raiders. Next pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver, Texas. No, I'm sorry, the Ohio State. I said his name wrong, and I screwed the college he went to. I was so proud of myself. I got ahead of myself there. But a very good wide receiver. Falcons just need weapons. They don't really have, I don't think, good wide receivers. They also could go with line help. They could go a quarterback. It would not be a bad pick for the Falcons either. Next pick, the Bears select Devon Witherspoon, cornerback from Illinois. He stays home. They need help in the secondary. You go up against Minnesota, the Lions, and the Bears. The Bears, they can't go up against themselves. The Packers. And it seems to be a fit for me. And like I said, in-home stay, you'll be fine there. Okay, the next pick. It's off of my neck because I got to look up all the time. Where am I? The Titans. No, I'm sorry. The Eagles select Christian Gonzalez, cornerback from Oregon. I pick a line, consider the line, but the Eagles want cornerback. They would have picked Weatherspoon if he was there. Doesn't really fit the Eagles' profile, but they both had green, so that's a good reason right there. But I think he's number one cornerback. At number 11, the Tennessee Titans select Will Levis, quarterback from Kentucky. Titans are, they're ready to move on. I don't know if they're ready to really start winning. They're not going to be that good, but they need a quarterback to move on. And best one available kind of fell to him. They could not pass him up. At number 12, the Texans are back on the clock, and they pick. I was going to say select. Quentin Johnson, wide receiver, TCU. Big, tall, fast. Not the best pass catcher in the world, but I like the pick and I like the fit for the Texans for that. At 13, Jets select Paris Johnson, tackle from the Ohio State. My God, they like 4 first-round picks. They need offensive tackle help. Still no word on the Rodgers trade. They're talking again. They might get done on draft day. That could change everything, so we'll see what happens. All right, the next pick at 16. No, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. At 14, the Patriots select Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame. A little high maybe, but the Pats have great success with the tight end. Michael Myers, the next Gronk. It seems to fit. They need help a wide receiver, and he's very good at that. He's a tight end, but it's a good fit for the Patriots, so that's why I picked him. Why else wouldn't I? At 15, the Packers select Dalton Kincaid, tight end, Utah, back-to-back tight ends. I think they would have picked either one, to be honest with you. He's a little bigger, I believe. Not as good as a pass catcher, but still very good. And they'll get again, depending if they trade Rodgers, Karen Rodgers, as they say. But I still think they'll pick a tight end, and a very good pick for the Packers. They could also need some offensive line help, wide receiver, of course, but that's what the other rounds in the draft are for. At 16, the Commanders select Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas. They were a tough team to pick from. They have, I don't say a lot of needs, but a lot of different needs. And I think a versatile overall. And I love Bijan Robinson. Would not mind him at 18 for the Lions. But I think it's a good, solid pick. Give a little identity to the Commanders. They're kind of floundering. They just, sold the team. I think it's a great pick for them. Just patted myself on the back. At 17, the Steelers select Joey Porter Jr., cornerback, Penn State. Everybody and their mother has picked them. In state pick. It just seems to be a fit. They could also go offensive line, which would have changed my next pick. But I think, I won't say it's obvious, but it seems like a logical fit. At 18, your mind, Bucky's Detroit Lions. I don't think I've ever picked this guy before. If I have, I really don't remember. But they have a big need. They got their defense. The corner was off that I wanted to pick for them. I could have went with edge, but nah. I went with guard. And you put the guard down there. Oh, I did. Cyrus Torrance from Florida. Chomp, chomp. Big, nasty, mean guy. Be a great fit for the Lions. Would solidify that line. It'd finish it off, and it'd be a nasty offensive line. And it'd fill a need, like I said before. So the two picks, I got Tyree Wilson and Cyrus Torrance. And there's a picture of him in my magazine. So that's good. That was just, I did that after I picked him. So, but anyway. At 19, the Bucs select Broderick Jones, tackle, Georgia. A lot of tackles in this first round. It's obviously a very important position. The Bucs need some help offensive line. Um, help protect the quarterback, and the Bucs have they've kind of fallen from, I don't want to say fallen from grace, but they've got a lot of holes since Brady left, and a solid pick, not a spectacular, not a sexy pick, but yeah, I think I got a couple more tackles coming up actually. At number 20, the Seattle Seahawks are back on the clock, and they picked Darnell Wright, tackle from Tennessee. Pretty much the same reasons. Need offensive line help. They got their defensive line, so they went with offense this time. Very, very good tackle. Really going up the boards a lot, mentioned a lot of drafts higher than that, obviously. At 21, the Bolts select Anton Harrison, another tackle. Oklahoma got 3 tackles in a row. Again, another big tackle. They need help on their offensive line to protect their quarterback. And I wanted to draft a tackle for the Colts and the Bengals. We'll see what they do later on. But very, very good choice for them. At number 22, I got the Ravens. I went with Nolan Smith, edge, Georgia. Now, I could have picked a wide receiver there, but nothing really thrilled me. And they're always, tweaking their defense. And he seemed like a Ravens type pick. Sometimes you have to go with that when you make your picks. At 23, the Vikings. Long snapper, kicker. No, I know it's an old joke. So I ain't funny anymore, but it's funny to me. No, I did not pick. I gave them a very good player actually. I'm not in tune as much with the Vikings as I used to be when I lived in Minneapolis, but I still keep abreast with them. It's Carla's team, so this is an excellent pick for them. I went with, I can find them. Where are they? Quarterback Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. Now the Vikings historically don't like to develop quarterbacks. They like to pick older ones. They're already established. Last year Christian Ponder was totally bombed. They tend to go with the older, like I said, well-established quarterbacks. The one they got now, probably is last year. He'll move on. And Hooker, he's older. He's 25. I believe he'll be 26 when the season starts. So I think this is an excellent spot for him. He can learn and just sit and wait. And if he gets injured, of course, he'll start. But I think he's the quarterback for their future, and it seems like a perfect fit, for the Vikes. And I hate to do it, but I couldn't find a long snapper that they needed. So Henry Hooker goes to the Vikes. So get your joke started here, people. At 24, the Jaguars select Miles Murphy, edge from Clemson. Jags are tough. I don't know a lot about the Jags, to be honest with you. I know they need help on defense, and best player available, in my opinion. All right, we got 25. We got Giants. G-Man. I went with Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC. They have a history of picking USC players. Frank Gifford comes to mind. They need a wide receiver to replace Galladay. I don't know if he's even on a team anymore. It seems like a solid pick. He's not a burner. He's a good possession receiver, the type of receiver the Giants seem to pick. They got to get their running back, back in the house. But we'll see about that. At 26, how about them Cowboys? I went with Kalaji Kancey, defensive interior from Pittsburgh. A lot of them have. He's picked for a lot of times at 18 for the Lions. I'm not a huge fan. He's a smaller, undersized. They compare him to Aaron Donald. He's not Aaron Donald. Size-wise, maybe. But I think that's a very good selection for the Cowboys. Not flashy, not sexy again. Interior, defensive tackle is never going to be that. But I think it's a very good choice for the Cowboys. At 27, the Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia. I went with DeJuan Jones, another tackle from the Ohio State. There's your another tackle from Ohio State. Um, Again, offensive protection for the quarterback. Very good pick. Nothing fancy, but the Bills they don't need it. They don't have a lot of holes, and it could be in the Super Bowl next year against the Lions. We'll see. We'll see about that. 28, Cincinnati Bengals. Again, I wanted to pick an offensive tackle. I could have picked the one before. There wasn't really any left. I picked them all. I went with cornerback, Deontay Banks from Maryland, a smaller guy but very fast, and building help on defense. Best defensive player available, so I went with that. At 29, the Saints, they go marching in with Lucas Van Ness, or NVN, or LVN as they call him, edge from Iowa. Saints were tough. I'm not very familiar with the Saints rotation. I don't know their quarterback. I couldn't tell you. They might pick one, but or trade up for one. But I thought it was a good player. He's a solid player, best on the board. So I went with that. At 30, the Eagles are back. Fly Eagles fly. They went with Zay Flowers, wide receiver from British Columbia, Boston College. That one too. Need some more offense. Could win defense again with them, but that's a pretty good selection for them. I think they need some help on offense. Bijan Robinson went a good pick. They might go after him, earlier on. And the last pick of the first round at 31, yes, 31, Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champs, went with Darnell Washington, tight end from Georgia. A little bit of surprise there. Clancy's getting older, and they might need to replace him with a big, it's like 6'8", and the luxury pick, they can afford to pretty much take whoever they want. They're not really hurting at any spot, but tight end, they want to plan for the future. I think it's a very good pick. So that's my first round mock. Went very fast actually when I did it online. So we're 3 days away. I'm very excited, and I'll be watching the news and Sports Center and all that good stuff, and of course online for any rumors and trades, and who knows. There's always something coming up. I do want to mention bad news on, was it Friday? I think it was Friday. 4 Lions players and one, I can't remember their team. It was Commanders, I think. Were charged with gambling. 2 Lions players have been released, including Quintez Cephas, formerly of the Badgers. I know, Bucky. Stupid. They gambled. I can't remember the exact. I think they gambled on site with the NFL. That's 2 strikes right there. They released those 2 players. Jameson Williams, the Lions' first round pick last year. He was on the facility. He bet on college. So they gave him a 6-game suspension. And the other guy, I think he got the same if I remember right. So it was dumb, it was stupid, it was immature. They've had a little history, a little problem with him. So hopefully he'll grow up. And he already admitted his mistake through his agent. He apologized. And I think the Lions, again, have players in place to help him, like Marvin Jones. And hopefully he'll straighten up and stop being stupid, which is why one of the things that Jalen Carter would be a good choice for them. They've got players in place and the coaches to help players like that. So if you want to hit the like button, that's fine. Comment, that's fine. But that's my mock draft. And tomorrow I'll have another video and break down the final time players that could get to the Lions and who I want and all that good stuff. And then we'll just sit back and wait for Thursday and then the rest of the weekend. All right. That being said, it's probably a 20-minute video. For Mike Seacourse and the star of the show, it's Bucky. Say bye, Bucky. Bucky says bye and happy draft. And be kind and tell somebody you love them. All right. Bye now.